Hello everyone, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are talking about something I purchased on Amazon because of poor impulse control. Thanks a lot, Carlos. You made me buy these things. These are the Bow Blaze Transformation Educational Animal Set. It comes with a tiger, an eagle, a lion, a panda, and a cheetah. Yeesh. Okay, the set also has an elephant on the back, but that was not part of the set. So, unfortunately, I am elephantless, and that was the one I really wanted, even though the description said that there was an elephant in the set. Oh well. Anywho, this whole set was like 20 bucks total, which is probably too much considering the figures, but we're going to open them up and take a look at them individually. Now, you may have noticed that 3 of them were on cards and 2 of them were not. That's because 2 of them showed up in these little brown boxes that are rather reminiscent of Hasbro figures. They have instructions inside, little plastic trays that they sit in, and then each come with 2 weapons. A giant freaking sword, and each of them come with a different type of gun. This is Cheetah's gun, and this is Panda's gun. Cheetah is actually molded very nicely and painted incredibly well, even if the colored spots don't continue down to the bottom of the legs. The overall aesthetic of the cheetah works well. I mean, it really works well, and you wouldn't be hard-pressed to think it turned into anything if it weren't for the robot kibble sticking off the front paws. The bottom of the figure is completely encased. Yeah, this thing is a bit of a shell former, but it's not that bad, actually. Okay, it is as bad as you think it might be. Face sculpt is incredibly good, if not a little bit derpy. Cheetah actually has some posability. Not a whole lot. The rear legs are a little bit, well, stuck. So are the front arms, but or I should say the front, what would be the front shoulders, but the front paws can move forward. Unfortunately, the back paws can't do anything, but it can do this. So that's not zero posability. Cheetah's transformation is actually pretty easy, though it's a little bit deceptive. To start off with, just kind of wedge your finger into the back here and unpeg the shoulders and flip them up. Once you pop the shoulders out, we can then continue with the transformation and lift up the entire body, front body of the cheetah, and accordion it back until it snaps into place. Then take the cheetah legs and swing them forward. Grab the robot legs and pull them down and apart. It's actually harder than you might think, especially this one leg. And they will snap into place. You can grab the toes and flip them out, and then move the legs back down. Grab the cheetah head, come behind the cheetah head and push the robot head up, and then you can slide the cheetah head down, and then this whole back, or the whole chest section will just kind of sit right there in this cavity that's formed. Then fold the paws back, flip out the arms, and turn the forearms to actually, have the handholds pointing up in the correct direction. And that's it. The poor man's Cheetor that we end up with is not great. It barely stands, and forget actually having it wield the sword that is slightly bent, because it just falls over if it actually holds the sword. And you can see that, well, that's not exactly well proportioned, now is it? Overall, I give it a meh out of 10, but, for a little kid who just wants a transforming cheetah, it's fine. This isn't meant for adult collectors, it's meant for children. I don't know how well it's going to stand the test of time, though. I wonder if I hit it with a hammer, what would happen? No, don't do that, don't do that. And just so you believe me that the figure can't stand up when it's holding its sword, it can't stand up when it's holding its sword. Like Cheetah before it, Panda's alt mode is quite good, and you wouldn't expect that it could transform into anything except for the panel lines that are plainly obvious, and the random robot kibble sticking out from behind the front paws. This figure has a similar transformation to that of Cheetah, but it is a little bit different. I think the Panda mode works really well, and it looks quite good. Again, transformation is similar to Cheetah. Grab the shoulders and wiggle them away from the figure. That will loosen up the section that you can then fold out, flip the entire bottom part around, And, yeah, there we go. Pull down the legs, and then the toes are in here, and they are actually harder to pull out than you might think. That's where the giant sword comes in. Leverage. You might think that there's posability with these back paws based on the way that they're connected, but no, you can't. Stand the figure up, flip that down, flip the back down, push the head up from underneath, fold it up, and then just do the same thing we did with Cheetah and fold out the hands that are actually quite tight. Panda's proportions are much better, and it reminds me of Break from Beast Wars Neo in terms of color, but there's a lot more yellow in this guy. He does have a little bit of better posability, though not by much. The overall aesthetic works better. I think he can actually hold his sword, too. The biggest issue I have are with the feet, in that they are really, really tiny, and if they get moved even just a little bit, he has a tendency to want to fall over. The arms are more posable, at least a little bit, but the fists don't fold out all the way, at least on the one arm, because, you know, the bear paw is in the way. And, damn it. And success! He can totally hold the sword on his own and remain standing. Just, don't blow on him too much, because, yeah. Next up is the Roaring Lion, who unfortunately does not come with a sword, and the molding on the figure is pretty good. I'm not going to use my turntable anymore because it's too slow. I like the lion, I just wish you could close them. Oh yeah, you can totally close the mouth. Oh, huh. I swore you couldn't close that. I wasn't able to do it earlier, but now after transforming it once, it can. The mane does not like to stay transformed. It's very, very softish plastic, and it just doesn't like to stay transformed because part of it on one side pokes out and the other part sinks in, and there's nothing I can do about that. Man, this thing has some real Animorphs vibes, doesn't it? I swear this were an Animorphs figure if, you know, if it weren't for the fact that I know it isn't. Lion has a very similar transformation to the others, except to start, you have to transform the mane and split it apart first in order to give there enough room to move the shoulders up and out of the way. Then once you do that, you can flip the entire torso up, and then this is exactly the same transformation as the cheetah, except, you know, you don't flip out toes with this one. The funny thing about the directions, though, it doesn't actually show you to turn the tail around as step by step, but it does show that the tail is supposed to be turned around. Transformation, again, very, very similar to the cheetah, and the results we end up with are equally problematic. I forgot how goofy this thing is. Oh my god. It's like just a ball of sadness and pain. Oh, that head sculpt is just awful. It's the same as Cheetah's, but oh man. The gun can barely be held in the fist. It just barely fits in there. And every time I pick it up and try to move it, something moves, and it just feels bad. It kind of smells a little bit. I can't stop laughing because it's such a piece of crap. Next up is Tiger, and Tiger is virtually identical to Cheetah in terms of mold. Okay, actually, that's not correct. The mold for the head and for parts of the body are different, but everything else feels very similar. It's got the same transformation. It looks pretty good, though. I mean, that head sculpt is really nice. As we said, transformation is exactly the same. Shoulders, lift the figure up, grab the legs, and kind of just kind of wiggle them down. I swear, every time I transform one of these, the cat ones specifically, the legs stick. So let's flip these toes up and then stand it up and do the thing. I mean, this ain't no Tigertron for sure, but it's fine. Posability for this one is the same as Cheetah. I almost said Cheetor. Oh, that's awful. As in, there's very little and nothing holds together, which is a shame, because I really would have hoped that there was some kind of connector down here, even if that proportion is really, really bad. Overall, it was only a few bucks, so who am I to criticize? Next up, Bird! In terms of animal mode, Bird looks the best, in my opinion. It's well painted, even if the plastic feels abysmal. Like, the wings are very soft plastic, and they just feel awful. But I can't argue with the fade that's going on here with the paint, or it's dark to light, and the overall painting of the figure is better than some of the stuff Hasbro has gotten us, or bequeathed onto us. It's not bad. It doesn't have the posability of Airazor, mind you, and Airazor is tiny in comparison. Their size difference isn't that much, but when you look at the undercarriage, the KOs, or the cheap one, has a much better undercarriage than the official Hasbro one. But just picking the figures up, wow, does the Hasbro one feel so much better. In terms of plastic quality, that is. Now, Bird's transformation is obviously not going to be nearly as complex as Airazor's because it's pretty much the same as the others. Pull out the undercarriage, flip out some toes, fold the big bird feet down, flip up the tail feathers, grab the entire bird and just kind of fold it up, flip out some arms, and wait, that's not how that's supposed to go. Hold on here. No, that's not working. Failure. You know, I have to say, in terms of robot mode, this one is the most successful. It's still bad, but I love it. It even comes with its own crotch thrust ab crunch. Oh, I transformed this last night. I completely forgot about that. But the proportionality works, and if Hasbro got a hold of these, or if some kind of other third party that actually spent some real money on this got a hold of it, this figure could be very, very cool. I don't mind the bird bits hanging off the legs. That's not that big of a deal, but adding in some ball joints and adding in some actual hinges for knees, I dare say this is good. Okay, let me preface that. This is almost good. This is almost really good. The coloring works incredibly well. The giant eagle head staring at you out of the chest works. And that head sculpt works really well also for this specific figure. It's a little bit different than the others, but I like it. There's no posability, but just having its own ab crunch crotch thrust just makes it so much more dynamic than the cats and the panda. Oh my god, this is actually a really fun one. I'm gonna have to put this in with the Transformers because it's so stupid. At the end of the day, these guys suck and I love them. They are so bad, but they've done that thing where they're so bad they've come around to being fun and good and worth owning because they are so bad. This is the thing I love about these really cheap KOs, is I get something like this that are just gems of awful. I can't help but fall in love with them. No, they're not good. Yes, they come with really bad accessories that are all bent. Only 2 of them came with swords. The swords aren't even in the instruction booklets. The instruction booklets are all printed on double-sided little leaflets that smell funny. And guess what? They even have fish. There's even a fish set and a dinosaur set. Oh my god, they're awful. I have to get more. I have to. I don't know, maybe I'll make these a Patreon exclusive. Once I review them, I'll just give them away to my patrons. Okay, so real talk. Why do I love these but absolutely hate the set that I just finished reviewing? Namely, this sack of crap. Well, that's very easy to answer. That other set was way too much money. That was over $100 that I ended up paying, and I feel like I got robbed. Plain and simple. I feel like I got robbed with that set. I don't feel like I got robbed with this set. This cost me, I think, 23 bucks for all 5 of them, and yeah, that's the cost of an Air-Razor. But they're fun, they're stupid, they're everything I wanted from this set, and they made me laugh. And Lord knows that's worth any price these days. So folks, let me know what you think of these garbage fires down in the comments. I'll catch you next time, and I hope you're all staying safe.